Hey folks, this is Mike Tango Whiskey coming at you with another video. This time we are going to talk about some recommended upgrades for your winter EDC bag. So if you've watched my videos, you know that I have reached a point where I've combined my EDC, my work, and my get home equipment into one 20-liter Vertex bag. But there are some things that I change from summer transitioning into winter. And those are the recommendations we're going to talk about today. So there's basically three areas where I change what goes into my daily bag. The rest of it stays pretty much the same. The first one is headgear. So I am a balding 50-year-old man, so I wear hats. That's how you can tell I'm going bald, because I always have a hat on for the most part. And in the summertime, obviously, I wear something like this. This is my after work one because it's dingy. I wear a more professional style ball cap at work. But I will traditionally have some sort of headgear with me for sun protection, for light protection, and those kind of things, just to protect my head. And in the wintertime, as I transition from hot weather to cold weather, I will upgrade this. I will not carry this anymore in my bag. I will transition to two pieces of headgear that I would recommend. The first one is some sort of... There's some controversy as to what this is called. I call it a beanie because I'm from California, but I've heard it called a toque or a toque. I've heard it called a skull cap. I've heard it called a toboggan. I've heard it called a knit cap. Who knows? Some sort of headgear that can act as a warming layer. I got this at a thrift store for like $2. It's just a nice beanie that comes down and covers my ears and keeps my head warm. Some other options, so transitioning from a hat to some sort of warming layer for your head. And then here's some alternatives too. This is like I think it's crochet, and this is crochet. These work really well because they insulate the heat, but they also have enough gaps in them to let the perspiration and the sweat out. I think this is an undervalued part of anybody's kit because it's such a good garment at regulating heat. So I do love knit caps as well. This one, I had this one forever, got it at a thrift store, and then a friend of mine sent me this one. His wife had made it for me. So some sort of headgear like this. And also what's easy and convenient to throw in there is something like this. This is a lightweight balaclava that I got off of Amazon. You can find them for, $5, $6, $8 on there or in other places. This is also sometimes called a buff. This is a pretty versatile piece of kit because it can cover your whole head and provide a layer of warmth, or you can pull it down around your head and use it just around your neck like a buff, pull it up over your mouth. So this, in combination with something like this, can really provide you a lot of warmth in winter if you happen to get stranded or you have to walk further than you thought you would. So this is really the first upgrade that I would recommend that you switch out, is some sort of protective warming layer for your head in your backpack or your gear, okay? The second area is gloves. So in the summertime, I will almost always have a pair of some sort of work gloves with me. Usually mechanics gloves. I love mechanics gloves. They serve kind of a dual purpose. These are primarily for handling heavy, sharp objects, rocks and boards and stuff like that. You never know if you're trying to get in or out of an area where you might need gloves. So these work really well. I like the fast fit ones. But these protect the hands, but they're not really a warming layer. So as I transition into colder weather, I will remove these mechanics gloves. They could work in a pinch, but traditionally I'll move to something a little bit more insulating for my hands. These are just a pair of head gloves. I got these at a thrift store. These are more of a neoprene with a grip on them. So these gloves are, now you're gonna have less dexterity obviously, but these gloves are much better at a warming layer for my hands. And I find that when I'm exposed to the elements, I think like anybody else, the head and the hands are the first things to go. I was stationed in Alaska years and years ago, and I actually got frostbite on the tips of my ears, and on one of my fingertips. So gloves and hats become super important for me because once you get frostbite in certain areas, it comes back quicker if you ever get exposed to cold again. So my ears and my hands get really cold really fast. So headgear is the first area. Gloves would be the second area that I would upgrade for colder weather. And then the third area is lighting. So in the summertime, this is kind of my standard little belt kit that I carry. It is a Skinth Solutions pouch with a removable belt clip, which is cool, so you don't have to run your belt through it if you don't want to. but I'll carry a Leatherman. I always have some sort of fingernail clippers. I'm getting ready to upgrade these. A lighter sometimes, and then a small light. So this is a MicroStream rechargeable light. Really great little light. I've had a lot of use and a lot of luck with this guy. So this is kind of my year-round light, but what I've found is, well, it sounds kind of common sense, but in the wintertime, it's darker. There's less sun, right? So I find that when I'm going to work and then when I'm returning to work, I'm usually in hours of darkness. So it's always I'm always tempted to kind of upgrade this light. I will still carry this in this pouch, but I usually will also add another light to it. This one is a AA, where this one is just a rechargeable. So this is a Tuninji S5. Great little light, has a magnetic cap, really great pocket clip. A little bit brighter than this one, and it's got a couple different modes to it. And I may even upgrade to something a little bit bigger. I don't know. There's just something about a more substantial light that I want in the wintertime. I take the bus to work, and there's a small area where I walk from the bus stop to where I work, and I cross through some pretty dark areas. So I will have this light in my hand ready to go if I hear or see anything unusual. So just, again, I would upgrade to a slightly more substantial light from this small one. I still carry this, I still love this, but I just want a little bit more lighting power, a little bit more lumens on me. So I will carry this in addition, or I'll carry one of these or something like this in addition to my regular EDC light. And another area of lighting that I will always upgrade will be adding a headlamp. So more than once I found myself either having to dig through my bag or do something in the dark, in the mornings or in the evenings. My vehicle getting stranded, you know, having to lift the hood, those kind of things. These work well, these lights, but I really like having a light around my neck. There are some days in the winter where I would just wear a headlamp around my neck all day long on the weekends because I'm in the garage, I'm working in the yard, I'm working on the car, doing all kinds of things where I need light. So I will upgrade my flashlight or add a flashlight to give me some additional capability, and I will add a headlamp to my kit to give me some additional light options. So those are the three things that I would upgrade. I would add some lighting options. I would upgrade my gloves for my hands, and then I would upgrade my headgear. And this is basically a winter kit for my EDC bag. And what's nice about these things is you can really, it doesn't take up much space to give you that that additional layer of protection. You could add these things into a tiny bag. Let's see if I can stuff this ball. This thing is so small. Let me see if I can stuff this in here too. I should have tried this before I started rolling the video, but I didn't. Let's see. Ooh. It's gonna work. Yeah. There we go. Look at that. Little winter kit. So from summer to winter, I've just added a little bit of bulk. This is a nice little pouch. You can slip this. Now, in my backpack, I've got a zippered pouch that I'd stuff these things into normally, so I wouldn't carry it in a separate bag. But very little bulk, nice and slim. Let's see how much weight it adds. 6 ounces, 7 ounces, 7.5 ounces of warmth and light, all in this one little kit. I would probably trade out, because the flashlight I usually have on me. Let's see if I can stuff the headlamp in here. Oh yeah, it's gonna be tight. There we go. Even lighter, 7.1 ounces. So this is what I would recommend that you upgrade from your summer or spring kit to your winter kit. Headgear, gloves for your hands, and then additional lighting capability. That's it. This is Mike Tango Whiskey, and I'm all clear.